Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode. I'm really glad you're here with me today. Now, imagine this. You sit down, headphones in, and you press play on some English audio, maybe a podcast, maybe a video, maybe just a casual conversation you've overheard. At first, you're excited, because this is the moment you've promised yourself you'll improve your listening. But within seconds, frustration creeps in. Words fly past you, faster than you can catch them. You're trying so hard to hold on to every single word, every syllable, and before you know it, you're lost. The speaker has moved on, the sentence is gone, and you're left staring into thin air, feeling like you've failed. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. One of the biggest mistakes language learners make when listening to English is thinking they have to understand everything. Every word, every sound, every detail. But here's the truth. Even native speakers don't do that. No one catches every single word. Our brains are not built to process language in that way. Instead, what we naturally do is search for meaning. We zoom out, we grab the bigger picture, and we use context, rhythm, and the key words that stand out to build understanding. That's the real secret to listening well. So the question is, how can you train yourself to stop chasing every word and start focusing on the meaning? The answer lies in something that is often overlooked in English learning: stress and rhythm. English is not just about words, it's about music. Some words in a sentence carry weight, and some words fade into the background. Some syllables jump out with strength, and others almost disappear. If you can learn to notice and follow that pattern, you'll unlock a completely new level of listening ability. Think of a sentence like, "I live in a town near London." Now, you could look at all 6 words as equal, but that's not how English is spoken. In natural speech, we stress the important ones: live, town, London. Those are the beats of the sentence. Everything else is like filler, glue that connects the important pieces together. If you only catch those 3 stressed words, you already know the core message. Someone is talking about living, a town, and London. That's enough for your brain to paint a clear picture. You didn't need to panic about the little words like in, or a, or near. They matter for grammar, but they are not what carries the meaning in listening. Here's where it gets more interesting. Stress doesn't just help you understand, it can actually change the meaning of a sentence. Let's use the same example. If I say, "I live in a town near London," the emphasis on I tells you I'm contrasting myself with someone else. Maybe someone thought my friend lived there, but no, it's me. If I say, "I live in a town near London," the stress shows that the town, not the city, is important. And if I say, "I live in a town near London," the focus is on the closeness, the location. Same words, completely different meaning, just because of stress. That's why sentence stress is so powerful. It's not decoration, it's the signal your brain needs to understand what matters most. But here's the challenge. Not every language uses stress in the same way. In English, stress and rhythm are central. It's called a stress-timed language, which means the time between stressed words is more or less equal, no matter how many little words sit in between. That gives English a kind of beat, almost like music. Other languages, like syllable-timed ones, Give each syllable nearly the same weight. So when someone comes to English from that background, they often expect every syllable to matter equally, and they try to hear everything with the same attention. No wonder they get exhausted. The brain is trying to work in a way that English simply doesn't function. So, instead of drowning in every detail, train yourself to catch the stressed words. Let the unstressed ones fade into the background. That's how native speakers listen. That's how they manage to keep up with fast conversations, noisy environments, or complicated topics. They're not superheroes. They're just tuned into the rhythm. Now, you might be wondering, how do you actually practice this skill? How do you move from theory to habit? Let's walk through some powerful strategies. First, accept that you will not understand everything. It sounds simple, but this mental shift is essential. If you listen with the expectation of catching every word, you set yourself up for failure. But if you listen with the goal of catching the gist, the overall meaning, then even if you miss words here and there, you'll still succeed. That shift takes away the pressure, and with less pressure, your brain actually performs better. Second, try doing short dictations. Take a very small audio clip, maybe 2 or 3 sentences. Listen once, and write down only the key words you hear, the stressed ones. Then listen again, and fill in more details if you can. Listen a third time, and see how much you can capture. Finally, compare with the transcript if it's available. This simple exercise trains your ear to prioritize what matters and shows you that the stressed words alone already give you most of the message. Third, balance your listening practice between short focused exercises and longer, relaxed listening. For the short ones, you're in study mode, analyzing, repeating, dictating. But for the long ones, like podcasts, news stories, or audiobooks, you let go. You don't take notes, you don't pause every 2 seconds, you don't look up words. You just listen. It's about immersion, about letting your ear get used to the natural flow. Think of it like building endurance at the gym. Short, intense workouts strengthen the muscles. Longer, relaxed sessions build stamina. You need both. Fourth, change your expectations around subtitles. I know, it's tempting to always rely on them, especially with Netflix or YouTube. But here's the thing. Subtitles keep you tied to the written word, and that forces you back into the trap of focusing on every detail. Sometimes, challenge yourself to listen without them. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but it will push your brain to catch the rhythm, the stressed words, the gist. You don't have to do it all the time, just enough to stretch yourself. Fifth, make listening a daily habit. 1 hour a day may sound like a lot, but it's easier than you think. You don't have to sit at a desk with a notebook. Listen while you walk, cook, clean, exercise, commute, or relax before bed. Break it up into smaller chunks, 20 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and suddenly you've got your hour. Just like people try to reach 10,000 steps a day, think of 1 hour of English listening as your daily target. Do it consistently, and you'll be surprised at how quickly your brain adapts. Now, let's talk about something many learners don't realize. Listening is not just about ears, it's about strategies. Native speakers, when they miss something in a noisy cafe or on the phone, don't give up. They use context, they guess, they focus on the stressed words. You need to build the same habits. If you hear, living, town, London, years, even if the rest is fuzzy, you know someone is talking about living near London for years. That's enough to stay in the conversation. Don't let the small gaps trick you into thinking you don't understand. You understand more than you think. And here's another layer. Stress can reveal the new information in a sentence. Imagine someone asks, "Do you live far from London?" And the reply is, "No, I live in a town near London." The stress, on, near, tells you the speaker is correcting the assumption. Stress directs your attention to what's important at that moment. Once you start noticing that, you'll feel like you're suddenly in on a secret code. Over time, you'll also see how English rhythm connects with music. Because English has that beat, songs often match naturally with the language. That's why music can be such a powerful tool for practice. When you sing along, you're not just memorizing words, you're internalizing stress, rhythm, and natural pronunciation. It's like language training disguised as fun. Now let's go a little deeper into practice techniques. Besides dictations and long listening, try shadowing. That means listening to a short clip and speaking along with it, almost like an echo. Don't worry if you're a second behind. The goal is to feel the rhythm in your mouth, not just in your ears. When you physically repeat the stressed words, your body starts to memorize the pattern. Another tip is to record yourself. Take a simple sentence, say it with natural stress, and listen back. Compare it with the original. Over time, your brain will align your speaking rhythm with what you hear, and that will improve both your listening and speaking together. Of course, practice takes patience. There will be days when you feel like you didn't understand anything, and that's okay. Remember, progress in listening is often invisible at first. You don't notice improvement day to day, but if you stay consistent, one day you'll suddenly realize you followed a whole conversation without struggling. That's the moment all the practice pays off. Let me leave you with this thought. Listening is not about perfection. It's not about catching everything or translating in your head. It's about connection. It's about hearing the main idea, following the rhythm, and trusting your brain to fill in the rest. The sooner you let go of the pressure to understand every word, the faster you'll actually start to understand. Focus on stressed words, focus on gist, use context, and allow yourself to guess. These are not shortcuts, they are the real way humans process language. So, next time you press play on that podcast or video, take a deep breath. Don't chase every word. Listen for the beat, the stressed words, the gist. Train your ear daily, practice with intention, and slowly, you'll notice the world of English opening up to you. Step by step, you'll become more confident, more natural, and more connected. And that, in the end, is what language learning is really about.